Did you know there's a city where you can get fined for frowning? Or that in one US state, cannibalism is technically legal? If you're really desperate, what about the fact that Switzerland outlawed loneliness? At least for guinea pigs. Today, we're counting down the 15 most unbelievably ridiculous laws that actually exist. Number 15. Venice, Italy. No feeding pigeons.
In Venice, Italy, it is illegal to feed pigeons. Why? Because pigeons are Venice's least romantic residents.
Venice once had over 100,000 pigeons in St. Mark's Square. Tourists loved feeding them, snapping selfies with birds on their arms and shoulders. But the pigeons weren't just charming, they were destroying the city. Their droppings were acidic enough to eat away at centuries-old marble and statues, and the city was spending millions every year just on cleanup. So, in 2008, Venice banned feeding pigeons, with fines up to 700 euros. Vendors who sold bird food were also banned overnight. Today, the pigeon population is less than half what it was, and it's probably the only city in the world where tossing a breadcrumb can bankrupt you. Number 14. Switzerland. Owning only one guinea pig is illegal.
Facing eviction has been forced to surrender her guinea pigs. And we're not talking just one or two, but hundreds of the pets.
Switzerland takes animal welfare so seriously that guinea pigs are legally considered social animals. Keeping just one is officially animal cruelty. If one guinea pig dies, you are legally required to get it a new companion. This law even spawned guinea pig rental services, so grieving owners can temporarily borrow a second guinea pig while searching for a permanent buddy. It's basically government-mandated Tinder for rodents. Don't worry, little guy, we'll find you a match, by law. Number 13. France. Speedos only at the swimming pool. In French public pools, board shorts are banned. The reasoning? Hygiene. Loose shorts are considered streetwear, meaning you might have worn them all day, collecting dust, bacteria, or even oil from public places. Tight swim briefs, on the other hand, are only worn in the pool, so they're seen as more sanitary. The rule is so strict that many French pools have vending machines selling emergency Speedos. Show up in baggy trunks, and you'll be forced into neon lycra you never asked for. This is probably the only law where the punishment is public humiliation. Number 12. Caribbean countries. Wearing camouflage is illegal. In countries like Jamaica, Barbados, and St. Lucia, wearing camouflage-type clothes is a criminal offense for civilians. The reason goes back to their colonial past, when rebels would use camo to impersonate soldiers. Today, the rule is so strict that tourists have been detained and fined just for wearing camo print hats, swimsuits, or even backpacks. Security can confiscate your clothes at the airport. So yes, in the Caribbean, you can sip rum at 9 a.m. without a problem. But wear camouflage Crocs and you're getting hauled off. Number 11. Greece. High heels are banned at ancient sites. In 2009, Greece officially banned high heels in archaeological sites like the Acropolis. The reason? Heels were literally poking holes into 2,000-year-old marble floors. Multiply that by millions of tourists per year, and you've got serious damage. So today, security guards actually check footwear at the entrance. No high heels, no food, no drinks allowed inside. The irony? Ancient Greeks invented platform shoes called kothorni. So technically, you can thank them for heels, but don't you dare wear them on their monuments. Number 10. Milan, Italy. Smiling is mandatory. This odd little law dates back to the 19th century when Milan wanted to promote positivity in public life. It technically requires citizens to smile in public, except at funerals or hospitals. While not enforced today, it's still on the books, which means that in theory, you could be fined for having a resting grumpy face. So if Venice banned feeding pigeons, Milan banned feeding negativity, Italy clearly takes its vibes very seriously. Number 9. Arizona, USA. Don't feed pigs garbage without a permit.
Their orange peels and saying, instead of throwing in the trash, they're actually making food for the pigs.
This law goes back to the 1930s, when pigs fed on raw garbage were spreading diseases like trichinosis. So Arizona required farmers to apply for a special license and boil garbage before feeding it to pigs. The wording sounds hilarious. Feeding garbage to swine without a permit is prohibited, but it actually saved lives. Still, somewhere out there, a bureaucrat really did have to stamp approved on paperwork labeled pig garbage feeding permit. Number 8. United Kingdom. Salmon must not be handled suspiciously. The Salmon Act of 1986 makes it illegal to handle salmon in suspicious circumstances. That is the actual wording, suspicious. Nobody really knows what this means. Was there a black market salmon ring? Were gangs smuggling trout in trench coats? We'll never know, but technically, if you're sneaking a salmon under your jacket, you're committing a crime. Remember, Britain invented Monty Python, so honestly, this law fits the national sense of humor perfectly. Number 7. Alaska, USA. Being drunk in a bar is illegal. Yes, Alaska Statute 04.16.040 says, a drunken person may not knowingly enter or remain on licensed premises. Police officers even perform walkthroughs to spot people who are too drunk. This law was meant to help curb alcohol abuse, but the irony is impossible to ignore. A bartender's job is literally to sell you drinks until you succeed. Then you're a criminal. Only in Alaska can achieving the entire point of a bar get you arrested. Number 6. Alaska, USA. Don't whisper during a moose hunt. And here we have another gem from Alaska. It is illegal to whisper to someone while they're hunting moose. The idea is that whispers can distract hunters or disturb the animals, but it reads like a comedy sketch. Sir, we heard you whispering compliments to that bull moose. You're under arrest. Between this and the bar law, Alaska is starting to sound less like a state and more like an elaborate prank show. Number 5. China, Tibet. No reincarnation without government permission. In 2007, China passed a law requiring Tibetan Buddhist monks to get official approval before reincarnating. The move was aimed at controlling which religious figures could be recognized as legitimate.
Exile, that our country is under Chinese occupation, and the situation in Tibet is really getting worse.
But the image is absurd. A monk filling out forms in triplicate just to be reborn. Imagine getting denied. Sorry, try again in your next life. This is probably the only law in history that extends all the way into the afterlife. Number 4. Alabama, USA. No funny mustaches in church. In Alabama, it is illegal to wear a fake mustache in church if it causes laughter. That means at some point, church services were being completely derailed by pranksters in Groucho Marx disguises. Imagine the judge's face as he read the charges. The defendant did willfully and knowingly wear a mustache of comedic effect during Sunday service. Only in America could facial hair be considered a criminal offense. Number 3. Thailand. Too many playing cards. Thailand's Playing Cards Act of 1943 makes it illegal for civilians to own more than 120 playing cards without a license. The government wanted to crack down on illegal gambling during World War II, and apparently decided the best way was to count everyone's decks. Police have even raided houses and bars to check card supplies. Manufacturers must also report to the government how many decks they print every year. So if you're a magician or just a hardcore Uno fan, Thailand might not be your best destination. Number 2. France, Sarporinx. It's illegal to die without a burial plot. In 2008, the mayor of Sarporinx, a small French town, was furious that higher authorities refused to approve a new cemetery. So he passed a decree. No one may die within the commune without having purchased a plot in the cemetery. And he added that violators would be severely punished. Of course, this was a symbolic protest, but it made global headlines. Imagine being threatened with punishment for dying. It's the only law in history that's literally impossible to obey forever. Number 1. Idaho, USA. Cannibalism is technically legal. Idaho is the only U.S. state with a law explicitly mentioning cannibalism. It's punishable by up to 14 years in prison, unless it's done under extreme life-threatening conditions. Translation: emergency cannibalism is allowed. Imagine the courtroom. Your Honor, my client only ate Steve because it was snowing really hard. Of all the laws on this list, this one takes the cake, or rather the leg. It's the only place on Earth where lawmakers actually prepared for just-in-case cannibalism. And there you have it, the 15 most ridiculous laws that actually exist. From mandatory smiles in Milan to survival cannibalism in Idaho, these laws prove that sometimes reality is stranger than comedy sketches. So, which one blew your mind the most? Would you rather risk prison time for owning too many playing cards, or for looking too grumpy in public? Let me know in the comments below. If this video made you laugh, smash that like button, subscribe to Fact Shock for more bizarre stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. And remember, next time you complain about your country's laws, at least you're not filling out government paperwork just to be allowed to reincarnate.